Well, must
Woohoo!
be Friday afternoon. Normally do it Thursday, but I always say Thursday-ish, so we're close. But Family Matters with Kevin Peterson. I'm Jay Staples. Kevin, how are you?
Jay, I'm doing great, baby. This is my last day, full day in Colorado. Tomorrow, I fly back to Jacksonville, Florida.
Going back to Florida, just in time for hurricane season.
It's almost over.
Well, Family Matters, we do this every week-ish, normally Thursday, sometimes Friday, depends when we're in a good mood or whatever. But we answer all your questions. If you're watching, you can always fill in, make a comment, ask a question, or you can send either one of us a direct message, and we'll do our best to find the questions like I'm looking right now. But anyway, so let's get right into it. We talked earlier before the show. We do a little preparation. We don't just wing it. But interesting enough, you said that you and your staff were going to make like a top 10 of things clients say to get out of treatment. Now, one of our questions, I can't find it, but ultimately was along the same line. So we're got a theme. What would you say? The family's role. You have that client that calls home. The bathroom's not clean enough. This is a cult, whatever it may be. Well, how do you work with the family when there's that? The client is obviously, well, maybe not obvious to the family. The family wants to know if this is legitimate or just an excuse. How do you deal with it?
Jay, it's good to see you. And great question. And in my book, Chronic Hope, Families in Addiction, on Amazon for $10, I address this issue. And we call it summer camp syndrome. So they're going to call with all the list of things that they know are going to push your buttons. The place is gross. My roommate is gross. I'm the only one here my age. Let's see. The place is gross. The food's bad. I'm not getting any therapy. I'm not like the other guys here. I'm not the same age as the other guys here. That's 5. Let's see if we can pick up some more. My recent experience.
Did you say something about the food? It's always the food.
Food and you're wasting. You know what? I'm so concerned about your money. You're wasting your money.
Yes.
And it's like funny. You weren't very concerned before when you were wrecking the car and getting lawyers. So those are probably the highlights right there. I might come up with a few more. Oh wait, I got it. They all hate me here.
Yes. I made one mistake and they've held it against me ever since.
And not only the staff hate me, but the clients hate me. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the top 10 or whatever. And here's how we here at Jaywalker Lodge resolve that. This is what I coach the parents. Oh, okay. So when you went and talked to your therapist, what did they say? Well, what do you mean? Well, did you talk to your therapist about this? No. Did you talk to one of the techs? No. Did you talk to your sponsor? I don't have one yet, or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, get back to me. I'd be really interested to see what they say, right? And so that's really the thing, right? For the parents, what the parents have to understand is this is a manipulation ploy, a tactic, right? If I'm just going to run down the list till you respond to one of them, and then, oh my God, I've got you, and that's really the thing where the family just has to hold their ground and say, we're going to trust in the clinical team there. And we're going to trust that everything's okay. And we're going to trust that the bathrooms are clean. And we're just going to stick with it. And, we're going to see how it goes. And we'd be happy to have why don't Why don't you set up a meeting with your therapist or the family therapist or the clinical director, and we'll have a big family meeting. And that might take a couple of days. And one the other thing that's really important for the families to understand is do not make a snap decision.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I just thought of another one. Everybody here relapses.
Well,
and they just want your money.
Dumb. Yeah, it's I think that making rash decisions and snap judgments and so forth like that, because it could be legitimate. So I'm not saying everyone is. I've heard some legitimate concerns, but more often than not, take it as someone that's been through numerous treatment centers. I know most of it. Alrighty, so. We finally found questions. So,
all right,
it's a long one, but so ultimately, mom wants to know that they've had boundaries in place with their 28-year-old son. Okay, I can do. So, you have a family that has put some boundaries into place. One particular that she's mentioning is that he's no longer welcome. He got divorced and so forth like that. And so I'll paraphrase her question is when families put a boundary in place and something happens, let's just say that you have to go back and break that boundary. How do you go about resetting do you reset the boundary? Do you keep the boundary? Is there ever a time the boundary can be broken and redone? Is what she's ultimately trying to look at.
Great question. Sort of like what happens when the family relapses. That's what we call it, as a family relapse. And the answer to the question is it's okay. It's just like an addict or an alcoholic. You just get back up on the horse, and just start from scratch. And remember, I mean, for all the families that are watching or listening, all three of them, the answer is the boundaries are always the same. They don't have to be unique or special or different. No drugs, no alcohol. You got to get a job, and you got to take care of your mental health. That's it. And you're either doing them or you're not. And if you're not, then we can't help you. And obviously there has to be accountability in those boundaries. And that accountability tends to come from a third party. Someone like Jay, pardon me, an addiction or a sober coach or, recovery coach or a case manager or somebody that's a professional that will handle the drug testing and handle the alcohol testing, and then also somebody that'll help them find a job and somebody that'll help them find a therapist. I don't want the family becoming the case manager because that's the role they played before, and I want them out of that role. And so we're going to have a third party do it, and that third party is going to report back to the family and say, "Here's what's going on." And if the person, I'm just going to say the guy, if the guy can't do it, then the guy can't. He doesn't get the benefits of the family system. You don't get the benefits of. We're not going to pay for your phone or your car. You're not going to live here. You're not going to eat here. You're not going to do the laundry here. Those things are over. If you want those things, you have to abide by our rules. And here's the really important thing to understand, because a lot of times families are like, whoa. I'm like, look, let me ask you something. If I came to live at your house, if you were like, hey, we need to rent a room, and Kevin's going to come live in the house, wouldn't you expect me to abide by the rules and pay my rent? And they're like, well, of course. I'm like, it's no different. He's 30. He's not 8, but it's time for him to start being treated like he's 30. And that's where the family just has to get right back up and do it all over again. Yeah. But get some help. Don't do it yourself. No?
Amen. So this one is, so I've heard Jay, and thank you for giving me credit. I think we both have said it, but ultimately, you said that families can find success even if the addicted loved one doesn't find sobriety. Can you explain that in more detail? So the family success, can, ultimately, let's just say, can the family recover even if the addict cannot find sobriety? You and I both have said, like, mainly you started it, but you change the family, you change the system, you change the addict. So, I think there's some, she wants to know what, how to, measure success for her family, even if you have a relapsing addict.
Great question. The way the family measures success is how are they holding their boundaries, and the addict may still be using, and that's fine. That's their choice. But are you centered in your recovery and your boundaries of saying, well, that's your choice. If you're going to continue to live like that, you're going to do it without us, without our support. So we still love you, but this isn't going to work, and I can't do that. And that's really the most important thing is that is how the family holds its ground. And it really, here's the really interesting thing, and sometimes this is kind of hard for the families to understand. It really doesn't matter what the addict or alcoholic does or doesn't do. What matters is what you do. Because and this, you're an intervention guy. Even if somebody, says no at the intervention because they think you're gonna be like, oh, okay, forget it, let's all go home. If the family is like, okay, well, so we're holding our boundaries. I mean, you tell me, what's the percentage of people that say no, that over time, if the family holds their ground, they're like, okay, fine, shit, I'll go. That's what my family did. They took 6 weeks from me. I'm like, when are they going to cave in? And they didn't. And I was like, all right, what's the scoop? So.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's 100%. I mean, if the family holds true to the boundaries, it's 100% the addict will come up for air, no question about it. But I live in a world where more often than not, someone within the family circle does not hold the boundary. So, Jay, you want to stump Kevin? I'll give it my best shot. It is both her second marriage. Oh, so she has married into a family, both their second marriages, and the new stepdaughter is a 14-year-old showing signs of substance abuse and mental health issues. My new husband, her dad, and ex, who obviously doesn't live with us, have more of a mentality of, let her get it out of her system and so forth. And this mom is saying, I've had long histories with people. My 19-year-old went to treatment, and my now 23-year-old daughter went through treatment. I've been through it all. Kevin, what is my role within this new marriage? And do I raise, she wants to know the new person in this marriage, stepkids, what's her role? Is she viable to raise her hand and say, I got an idea?
Well, so here's what I would do. I mean, I would say, talk to your husband or his husband, right? And and just say, hey, I just want to let you know I've been through this. And if you want help, I'm happy to help. I know what to do. But if you don't, if you and your ex want to figure this out, I will stay over here. That is called having good boundaries. Now, here comes the fun part. If the 14-year-old daughter is destroying the home with the husband and the stepmom has the right to go to the husband and say, this is not working for me. I'm happy to help you get help for her, but I'm not, I've done this rodeo before and I'm not dealing with this again, and that's perfectly acceptable, perfectly okay, because she has to take care of herself. She's got to speak up for herself. This does not work for me. I don't want to deal with this. I realize this is your daughter, and I realize you and your ex got to figure it out, but she needs to figure it out over at your ex's house, not here. And that's a good, hard boundary, And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I tend to have that kind of boundary with like family visiting, It's like, there's a great hotel right down the street.
Jesus. Well, all I could hear you say is addiction is a family disease. And I mean, this is right here. I mean, you got multi-levels of addiction, multi-levels of boundaries and so forth. But what you're ultimately saying is, when it comes to her well-being and her self-care, to put a boundary in when the daughter interferes with her self-care. And that's the boundary you're putting in.
Yeah.
Not parenting, basically.
No. I know. I mean, I don't know what her definition is in the relationship with everything, but I mean, I think it's really important she understands that, unless she's designated as one of the parents and gets a vote, then her job is to say within her marriage, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah.
And in this house, we're not dealing with that. She's welcome to come here if she's sober, and behaving appropriately. If she's not, then no, sorry, that's not going to fly. And she has the absolute right to say that. Yeah.
God, and that gave me a headache just kind of, thinking about it. But I mean, I guarantee you there's families out there that's going through it. I mean, you got divorces and remarriages and, younger and younger and getting more and more addicted in mental health and so forth. So it's probably not even a unique situation. There's probably someone who's going to hear this and be like, "Yep, that's my life right there." So, all right.
I've had cases like that.
Oh, really? You're just the family whisperer, though. So, I mean, you've seen it all, done it all, put in boundaries for it all. So, all righty, Kevin, we'll do this again next week, probably Thursday to the best of our ability. You'll be back in Florida, and we can keep the questions coming. So,
all right, man, that sounds like a plan.
I will see you. Have a good weekend full of football too. So go USC.
10 a.m. baby, Illinois USC.